Is the sound going through?
Sure is. All right. Hello, guys, and welcome to this week's Critcast, episode 4. Episode 4 made it to episode 4. It's freaking amazing. I am Gr Reaver. I will be your host with zero most because I'm not there yet, but I'll get there for the evening. And I also brought with me these, I don't know, these two guys. To my left is Scrivian. Say hello, Scrivian.
Hello, Scrivian.
Hey, there he is. And below me, yes, below me, is Asriel Reborn.
Always below you.
Yeah, he's always below you.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty much how that guy rolls.
I
So
don't really have anything to say about
Hi
that.
guys. Hi guys. How'd it go? How was your week? How did it go? What you been up to?
Man.
Man.
I was on vacation for part of last week, so.
So you've been up to
And
a
then I
lot of
came back.
nothing, huh?
Oh, yeah, it was great. And I posted it in the action report this week for the guild, saying, I missed gaming a little bit until I started sipping on a margarita, and I was.
Undoubtedly, it was.
And then I didn't really miss gaming
it
that
was
much. So.
definitely worth. I'm sure it was worth a week away from gaming.
It was.
Undoubtedly.
It was good.
Well, what'd you do this week, bud?
Well, rated. Had some progression. Did some PvP. PvP this week was a little weak. So.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, some weeks are a little tougher than others. I know we actually had a pretty good PvP week myself. Me and Broods, I think we're about 1680 something now in twos, which is not whatever. It's a good week for me. I really enjoyed it, and other than that, we did some raiding. We killed a new boss for our raid team, which is always a win.
On normal, that was nice.
Yep, on normal mode, so that was good. We almost one-shot the Dark Shaman, but then we proceeded to regress. But that does happen occasionally, so, what are you going to do? But yeah, so everybody had a good week, though? No complaints?
It was great. It was good.
Lots of
Very good.
positive, it sounds like it. All right, well, that's good to know. I guess we will jump right into our first major section, then. We'll get right into our critical hits section. Ooh, there's that bumper. And this is the section. Yeah, I like it. Thanks. You do a great job there. That's courtesy of our man, Scrivian.
Someday I'll get paid for this stuff.
Yeah, well, it's probably not going to be someday soon, but that's beside the point, I guess. So this is Critical Hits, where we jump into our, basically the top WoW news stories for the week. And the first thing that happened this week, right when Tuesday hit, was patch 5.4.8, which was actually not a very big patch. The patch itself was relatively small, but it did bring a couple major minor things. I guess it depends on how you look at it. It brought 4x upgrades, which allows you basically all that gear that you've been sitting around with 2x upgrades. Several people are sitting around with everything 2x upgraded and full honor or full valor, and they finally have something to spend it on. And it also brought you the ability to spend timeless coins on Valor. You can spend 3,000 timeless coins for 100 Valor. And, it speeds up your grind. If you've been, if you get tired of grinding Valor and you've been doing it quite a bit, it actually speeds it up a little bit, and it's not too bad. So, it's been out for almost a week now. It's Monday. Reset again is tomorrow. I know you guys have been in there. You've upgraded some things. What do you think so far? What do you think, Scriv? Did you enjoy it? Did you 4x upgrade that weapon?
I have not, but I think I'm going. I will Tuesday before the raid. I was sitting there as I was looking through this, and I saw the 4x upgrade, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. That's good to do." But then I started thinking, why would they do that? And I think, to me, I look at that, I was like, okay, that's cool, because you've got guys who are Valor. What is it? 3,000 Valor is the max you can have, right?
Yep.
And so I was like, well, is this just another delaying tactic to appease us, that we get a little bit more, it's a little bitty carrot, so I'm saying the carrot and stick, which, I'm a fan of. I don't mind. I have no problem with carrot and stick systems of gear.
Right.
Is it just another little carrot. They're hanging out. Let's throw them a half carrot this time, so they can still get some more upgrades. Just so they feel they can make it a little bit more progression, so we can take a little bit more time to get the expansion out.
Well, I'll let Az talk before I talk.
Delaying tactic.
It is essentially, and essentially though it sounds like their goal is to change the mechanic. Before, what did they do around this time in ICC? Like 30% buff, 15% nerf, and all the content. And now, instead of doing that, they've chosen to go with this more active way of gaining that buff. Like, here's more double upgrades, so if you're still stuck, here's that boost instead of nerfing content.
Which is actually, this is more of a player appeasing thing, because we like to see that we get stronger and better, as opposed to, oh, they made it easier, that's why you upgraded it, as opposed, it's the same thing. So you're right, it's the same thing.
I agree. It's a more positive spin on it, but I don't know.
It's just a mental, they're playing mental games.
What do you think?
I agree. I agree 100%. It's just something to give you a little bit more grinding to do. Like, there's not enough grinding in the game already, so let's add some more.
Bring on garrisons.
Yeah. Well, there's always going to be more. There's always going to be more. I don't know. I got in there, and I got to, I've been swapping around tunes. I did a little bit of Warlock gearing this week, and it is what it is. Obviously, I didn't have 3,000 Valor capped on any of my tunes, because the tune that had the gear to do that and all the double upgrades, I haven't been playing that much, so I haven't been capping Valor. But it was nice. It was nice to jump in. I haven't been raiding that much on it. It was nice to jump in and quad upgrade those weapons real quick and see a nice instant gain in your, like, bam, here's more damage right away. Like,
now, this was on your warrior?
That was on my warrior, yep.
Okay, yeah, your top kick. Because I remember when you first took us to Time Asylum, when we were coming back, you were, just destroying things on them. So I can only imagine what you're doing now with 2 more upgrades.
Well, and that gets to the other thing is I also, like this week, I jumped on and I think I bought, 500 Valor with timeless coins, because I had some sitting around on the warrior. And I did 1 or 2 things on Tuesday, and bam, the warrior was capped, and all of a sudden capping the shaman and capping the warlock just kind of happened naturally, because you get that big 50%, that 100, whatever, 100% boost over that you get when you cap the first tune. And so all of a sudden, I ended up capping 3 tunes. I don't know when the last time was I capped 3 tunes on Valor. But I actually really like that. Did you guys grab, I don't know if you guys got some timeless coins later on. I know Az spends his life on the timeless isle, so undoubtedly you had some timeless coins laying around, right? For a
376,000 I think I had at one point.
Yeah, that's impressive. So did you snag any free Valor that way this week?
Before we even went into our normal raid run, I capped my Valor right away.
Nice, very, very good.
Yeah, and I went straight for the quadruple upgrade on my weapon.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's kind of the default go-to, right? Scripps, I know you're a big Timeless Isle grinder. I see you out there every day just grinding mobs.
I don't think I've been there in 2 months.
I
think I had 30,000 at one point when I was working for the Relic, and then I said, screw that. And then I took all of them and went and used them on lottery boxes until I got the one burden I needed to upgrade 1 piece of gear.
Nice.
And then I never went back. I'm
guessing
I'm a fan.
You didn't buy Valor.
I'm a fan of dailies and that stuff. So.
I heard you were. Didn't buy any Valor. We're going to check that off on Scriv as the did not use that feature. What do you think of the feature? Is that you think it, I don't know, whatever. I guess you don't care.
I don't.
All right, moving on then. We're going to move on to the next thing. And the next thing that came out this week was was a new Artcraft. And we missed talking about the Night Elf one, but we won't rehash. There was a new Artcraft this week, and they was talking about the idea of class accessories. And these are, I'm going to show the pictures. These are like concept pictures according to them, but this is early design. But it's something that I guess people have always asked about, and they've always kind of wanted to do. Basically, like you see in the pictures, there's, things for rogues. You can have daggers, or you can have, vials. You can have ammo. You can have different types of ammo that looks, badass. You can have quivers. They show some spell books or whatever. Just basically something that you will be able to actually show on your character, which usually, you have all those things, and you used to have them in relic slots and things of that nature, but you can never actually show them And I don't know, it's just an extra way to flare it out. They said there'd be different combinations, perhaps. You could transmog out different sets. You could be, a rogue that carries stars and throwing daggers and whatever, or perhaps you're a rogue that carries a pouch of poisons and they look lethal, and that's your thing. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? You guys into class accessories, character customization at all? Do you like it, love it, hate it?
Mm,
Hate it? Why don't you start, Scriv, again?
yeah.
Not in World of Warcraft. I think I was over the top. I'm a stealthy rogue with 4-foot spikes on my shoulder kind of issue. Anyways, maybe I don't think I am. Not in World of Warcraft. In Rift, I looked more about the character. I mean, I guess I like it when the stuff looks more real. And I was looking at the artwork, and it's just like, it just doesn't do it for me. So it's a cool, nice to have thing that I just don't care about.
Well,
I mean,
good to
really,
know.
I mean, it doesn't affect gameplay in any way.
I don't know. It's always, they've always put the big, visible things on you. I'm not sure. It depends. I think it probably depends on how they do. What do you think, Az?
I think I'm not a big transmog person in the first place. I know there are a lot of people out there. When the Paladin started wearing robes, I pretty much said, yeah, it's not going to happen. I think for some classes, yes, it'd be fairly worthwhile. Like with rogues having their daggers, or hunters having an ammo pouch, or a quiver if they're using a bow, it makes sense to watch them grab an arrow from somewhere rather than out of thin air. So I can see where it would be beneficial in some classes, but others not so much.
Right. Well, I'm gonna probably jump on the haterade train. It is what it is. Whatever. They're cool. I think one of the problems that WoW has always had is that they don't match the size of the armor to the size of the character very much. So yeah, and some of the big gaudy swords and hammers and whatever are fine, but for the most part, I think they're just big and gaudy, and it's way over the top. And my concern is obviously this early concept, and you can see they're pretty good size, and I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. I want them to be visible, but I don't want them to be gaudy, because then it's just one more, like you said, Scrib, it's just one more gaudy thing.
Well, I mean, the other thing, if you look at the top end of the thing, I don't know I know it's concept art, but it looks like they add, it's a little more ornate. You can't really tell that much anyways, but the graphics levels, the way that they do them. But it's got that greenish glow, misty glow off. Is that just another, I've got, my weapon's glowing, I got this glowing thing on my back, I got a pouch of poisons on my rogue, it's all glowy, it's kind of distracting from the armor anyways. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, it is what it is. Well,
Well, the good thing is, hopefully they won't take it a step further and every enchant will glow its own little color, and then we can all be walking rainbows with my
they have
purple bracer
enchant
and my green chest enchant and my red helm enchant. And
yeah.
Even that. We're waiting for the next expansion. We could get the gems actually showing up on the armor. You put yellow gems in, yellow gems show up on your chest.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go that far, but maybe they may. They may do it. They may do it
on my chest.
All right. Well, with your mockery, I guess we will move on from that again, and we'll go to the next thing, which is
we're an honest show.
Yes. Hey, I'm with you. Right? Let's be honest.
We're being critical.
Yeah. Hey, clever. I like what you did there.
See?
All right, so on to the next thing. It was the WoW Crash Course videos. WoW has put out their own little YouTube series, and I checked out a little bit of them. They don't obviously cover everything, but it's not a terrible place to start. It's basically a new resource, and they call them Crash Course. They have them. I put up a little picture. They have them for the Monk, Death Knight. They basically have one for each class, and it's just a new resource. I don't know if you guys checked them out. I think it's geared more toward new players, but I guess if you were returning and you hadn't played in a while, things are significantly different now. So it's just another thing. It's cool that they added new resources. I don't know that it's that big of a deal, but it works. It's not terrible. It's something to do. What do you guys think? You like new stuff even if it's stuff you might already know. You like new stuff for new players?
I think these are actually a good idea. I mean, we've got guys coming back to the guild who are coming back to raid who haven't been with us for a while or haven't played in a year or two, and then you've got guys coming back who are saying, "Hey, I'm gonna buy this expansion. I haven't played since what did Cash say? Hasn't played since Ice Crown." And maybe for them it might be pretty good if they're saying, you know what, I played a hunter before, I want to play a hunter, I'm going to play a warlock, never played a warlock, and then they boost their warlock. Maybe it gives them enough basic information to, survive in an LFR without being flamed.
Right.
I hope. I don't know.
I hope that's the idea, is that, it at least will get you a start. I mean, they've made specking so dumbed down that making the wrong spec choice doesn't affect you the way it used to.
Right.
But obviously not knowing the basic ability or even just a basic rotation, which they do sort of give you in the game UI, but they don't really give you a rotation. They give you here's the spells you should use those. If you use nothing else, use these 5 things we listed, and you at least won't be ridiculous. So
yeah.
It's good. I like new resources, but not a lot to talk about there. Just something cool that they did. That we give them the thumbs up.
I thought that one was pretty good.
I thought we give them the thumbs up trying. And then, all right, so we'll move on to the last critical hit that we have for this week, and that is the PvP tournament over the weekend. Woo! PvP Live, Armageddon. I don't know if you guys caught it, but it was pretty awesome. Basically, it's 3v3 tournament, winner take all, $3,000 on the line. There was, I want to say 8 teams to start, double elimination. It was awesome. I don't know if did you guys just catch any of it? I hope so. Yes. Lie to me. Just say yes.
Yes.
I was going to say, do you want me to
Yes.
to tell you I didn't watch it, or you want me to pull a Varns where I'm going to start spouting off that shotguns are single target
I would
weapons?
prefer you to not be that specific and then lie that you watched it. But yeah, now that the cat's out of the bag, I know you were. Well, you were actually.
It's the same thing. I mean, we've had this stuff before where we've talked about it. I can't watch game streaming unless I can't play the game.
Right.
And I mean, if I can play WoW, I'm probably not going to go watch somebody else play WoW.
I actually
watched. Play whatever game. I mean, I can't do it.
Watched it most of the weekend at work. So
yeah,
I mean, I guess that makes a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that would be different.
I know. Az said he got to catch a little bit. What did you think of it? Az, did you catch the grand finals at all?
I did catch up on the one match between, was it Go Green, and I can't remember who the other team was now. But I did watch the recap of that. It was a really good fight. I don't know if I would have gone the route they went.
It got pretty crazy. And just to give weigh in on what Az was just talking about. They basically, the game went 1-0. Go Green won the first match. They gave Llama Cleave. Llama Cleave then got the map choice. They chose their map. They did not have a very good start. They had a pretty shitty open to the second game, and then basically there was a 45-second rule where after 45 seconds, if you DC, you DC. That's just it. So it was after 45 seconds. They had a DC at a pretty whatever. They had a DC, and Go Green decided to let them replay the game, even though it was after 45 seconds, and they got the win, and they could have it's winner take all. They could have easily went up 2-0. Wow. They let them replay it anyway, and then Llama Cleave won that game, and then they won the next game. So all of a sudden, it went from Go Green being up 2-0 to Llama Cleave being up 2-1. And Go Green having to win the last 2 games to take it. And fortunately for them, they did win the last 2 games. They came back. They got the win. They were pretty dominant, really, in all of their games. They went straight through the winners bracket, won all the way out. And it was awesome. I mean, the final tournament was great. Go Green, congrats to them. You guys were awesome. Big shout out to the people at PvP Live for doing it. And obviously, Azael shoutcasted it with Chinglish, and those guys were awesome as well. So shout out to them. And yeah, it was awesome. Scriv, you should watch the VODs. If you miss the games, you should still watch the VODs. There'll be some like go on a jog or something and watch a VOD. It was definitely worth
run
it.
And watch a video.
And maybe we should get so be well. Go on a ride.
I get hit by a car.
Google Glasses, Griff.
It doesn't matter.
Google
Just
Glasses.
figure it out.
You know
That's
what?
all I'm saying.
That might work.
Figure it out.
Now, if you want to lend me $60,000 to get it set up, I'll do it.
Nice. All right, so with that will be the end of our critical hit section, and yeah, we'll jump into the old bonus damage section. There's that bonus damage bumper. Yeah.
Awesome.
And so here's this topic. Basically, in this section, I hit the forums, and we find 1, 2 sometimes. I think we're gonna go with one this week. One topic. Just find a forum post that we like. We find a topic that we like, and we try to bring it into the show and talk about it. So the post I found this week was active mitigation and a success story. ... And it was by Snowrunt on the Thrall server. Don't know him, but here's his thing. Basically, his post was about the active mitigation model. He actually doesn't seem to be as impressed by it overall. He seems his argument is that it isn't needed on every toon, and every toon doesn't need to be. Every tank does not always need to be taking control of his own life in that way. Like, tanks are supposed to be tanking, and that's what your job is. Your job is not to keep yourself alive. And I figured this was good because I tanked, and I know Scrivian tanks and Azrael tanks. There are tanks for our raid right now. We've all used this active mitigation model for a couple months, and I figured, we would talk about it. So I thought I'll start with Azrael this time. You've been using it for a while. You're pally tanking. What do you think of active mitigation?
I
do you like
love the active mitigation model. Being able to actually do more than just sit there, swing, and go, okay, hit me. To me, that's boring. I don't want to just stand there. I want to be able to defend myself and use those abilities to hold whatever threat system that is no longer really there. But I am a huge fan of it. Now, I'm not talking about big, massive global cooldowns for the Ret Pally. Lay on hands is not an active mitigation. Okay?
Right.
Huge. I know there was a huge argument about using big cooldowns as they considered them an active mitigation, and that's just not the case.
Right.
Shield of the Righteous is an active mitigation. It brings up your Basin of Glory. It stacks Eternal Flame, big heal. It's like having a Lay on Hands that heals you every 2.6 seconds. 30,000 heal. To me, I love that. I think it's a great thing.
Well, yeah, and I know Pally's it's not as much. It is active mitigation, but it's also actively healing yourself, which is, I guess, a little different than my experience. But what do you think? What do you think of the Death Knight? I know your active mitigation is some self-healing also, but also a lot of absorb shield going on. You're throwing out absorbs like crazy. So,
well, I like it. But, you have to watch how much the boss is doing, and then watch for special abilities, and then you got to take those hits, whatever the hits are, in 5 minutes to get the highest level blood shield. I'm a fan of active mitigation. I think going to even so far as looking at it in games like Terra, where the bosses have a tell and you have to react to it. I mean, I don't know. I've never played in role-playing guilds or games or done any WoW role-playing. Right? Of course, I played Dungeons & Dragons when I was in college and stuff. But
right.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea of playing a tank and the boss is going to swing the club, and I'm either going to put the shield up and block it, or dodge out of the way, or I want to do the active mitigation. I don't want to just keep hitting button, the same button over and over and over and over and over, and all I'm doing is taunting him while you guys are all doing damage. I mean, him the tank. I have to be pissing him off, with more than saying, your mother was an ugly ogre too.
Right. Well, I think
beat on me a little bit more.
Yeah, I think there's just that shift that this guy, particularly doesn't like that shift and change. But I think it's been that way for a while. The shift has been tanking at one time was holding threat and getting threat, and it was holding threat, and you weren't.
Well,
you were doing shitty damage, holding threat, and you weren't in control really of your health, and you're just holding them out.
I'm not saying I don't want to get this confused with one of the topics we talked about before with the damage. I mean, as a DK, we're expected to do, damage up with the DPS. Maybe not with the DPS when they get fully geared. I don't need that. I'm okay being. I'm a sword and board. Or I'm not a sword. I'm a two-handed. So maybe it's a little bit different, but still understanding that mine is. I'm okay with the tank not having that high damage, and it's okay that I lose DPS because of the active mitigation. I mean, it's all right, and I don't care as long as I do my job. As long as I can hold his attention, and I have to react. I just don't want it to be boring for the tank. I know my job. I hold the boss's attention, react to his abilities so he doesn't smash the raid. I want to do that, and I want it to be challenging, which means if I've got to use like 10 freaking abilities to do it, even better. That'd be great. That'd be fun. Challenging.
We all sort of agree on this topic, which is terrible for everyone else, and I apologize that we all agree, but we do. I think the model has just changed. Now you are expected to do a little bit more damage, and you are expected to take care of yourself, and that's great. I even love I really love the Warriors model, and that's what I did it as most. It's shield block, shield block, shield block, but then you also have an absorb barrier. And even just the simplicity of having to make a choice between which one to use, knowing what the boss is going to do, knowing whether or not he's going to throw magic damage or physical hits, and making choices like that, it really makes tanking. I don't know. I didn't do it a lot beforehand. I guess I did Cataclysm, and I don't know. I don't remember the model. Anyway, but it wasn't the same. And I still enjoyed it, but I have to say that it's really makes tanking a lot more compelling for me. I think it's a lot more fun. You certainly have many things to do, and when you do them right, the group is poised for success. And I like that. I feel similar in healing, where you're controlling everybody's health and you're controlling. You can somewhat manipulating the fight. I really like support in this game lately. I really enjoyed it. I like controlling the fight and knowing that I can, make up for other people's mistakes if I have to. And, I've been really enjoying it. So, I have no complaints about active mitigation. We all agree. Boo.
Yay.
But that's all right.
Okay,
that is okay. We can agree occasionally, I think. So, with that, that's in the bonus damage. We're just going to do one for the night. I think we're lagging pretty bad. I apologize for everybody who's saying that they cannot watch this right now. We'll try to get it fixed. I don't know, but let's get to shout outs if you got them. We got some shout outs. Let's go to Az first. You got a shout out this week.
Who's got the shout out?
Yep. I guess
Az muted himself.
Yeah, muted myself.
I was looking over at the comments. This thing was going.
Sorry. The shout out I'd like to give is, I guess, to the whole raid team as a whole. Congratulations for getting an additional boss down and moving one step closer.
Cool. What do you got, Scriv?
I don't have a shout out this week.
To no one? Well,
No.
I'll shout out you and your team. This is a non-WoW shout out, but there was Friday night PvP festival that occurred in Arcade, and it was quite a bit fun, and everybody let my little level 19 tag along, so I appreciate it. We had a good time. Definitely some things that are not my favorite, like long boat rides, but it was legitimately worth it for the 15 minutes of serious back and forth action that went on. It was a lot of fun. So thanks, guys. So with that, I guess we'll say goodnight. Any last thoughts? Parting thoughts? No?
No.